Good morning, everyone. I'm Alan Jones, the product chair, or the chair of the Primo Product Working Group for ELUNA. We're here today with Nili Natan, who is the new Primo Product Working Group, or the new Primo Product Manager at Ex Libris, to speak about digital collections. So with that, I will give it to Nili to take it away. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to have this demonstration today on the collection discovery. What we are going to demo today is the cool, exciting feature that is coming soon with November release, and there are also more plans to come out about it in next releases of Primo. So we start with the collection discovery. What it's all about is with the collection discovery, we have the ability to expose the digital collection through Primo. This makes Primo, as I wrote here, as the gateway and the discovery system to more and more resources within the library. So let's start. Today, we are going to do a demo on this collection discovery feature, as should be released in November, as already said. And then I also would like to share with you what is happening behind the scene of that and the integration. How does Primo work with the digital repository? What the data is required to do, and API to fetch the hierarchy of that. And we'll do also a demo. Demo trying to simulate working with an external digital repository, not only out of the box Alma and Rosetta. And last, I'm going to share with you what is planned for the next release in Primo. So, as you already know, libraries own special collections such as letters, diaries, art, painting, and items. Those collections, special collections, are now can be exposed through Primo in really nice, fresh look and feel. It's also a chance for Primo to show the results in hierarchy and with easy navigation. And this also makes the patrons be more exposed to those collections. They can now have a new entry in the main menu for the collection discovery, where they can go and drill down and see the collections that catch their eyes and be exposed to the items within those collections. They will be able to save to the favorites items that are going to be interested to them. And what is also exciting about it, we are allowed to display the items in really nice grid and gallery layout. So I think that it is better to demo. I think that a demonstration is worth 1,000 words instead. So what we are seeing now is what we called the collection lobby page. The collection lobby is the collection lobby page now stores the top level collections that you choose to configure through the digital repository per this institution, through this API that I'm going to talk about later on. So what you see here first is you have the URL of Primo Explore Collection Discovery here. And this URL with the view ID. This URL can now be configured. You can have here in the main menu a new entry for the collection discovery that you can now configure for this URL in the back office. Of course, the name of the collection discovery in the main menu can be configurable, and the order also can be displayed in the back office. What we see here below is the title for this page, for the collection lobby page, and the description also can be configurable in code tables. Underneath, we can see the collection and, of course, the number of collections that are considered to be the root collections. If a user is interested, when we first glance on this collection, we can see that we have an image display of 4 image display per collections and the title of the collection. If a user show interest on that and hover in attempt to click, you can now see the title and the description underneath. Like see art collection and the description of the art collections is displayed over here. When we show here the images, it's of course to teaser the patron to drill down into this collection. We take the definition of the image from the collection API, from the digital repository API. For each collection, we have now the ability to have thumbnail. And this is what is displayed as the large in the large image, and we display additional free images that are currently taken randomly from the items underneath the collection, and we are working to with Alma and Rosetta API to get those images configured per collection. So it's another improvement to come. So if now I'm interested to drill down into this collection because it's catch my eyes, I'm going to click on the collection. And now I'm able to navigate to a new page named the collection page. In this collection page, we can see the title of the collection, the description. This metadata is taken from the collection API that the digital repository is giving us. We can also see on the top the breadcrumb with the hierarchy. If I go to collection underneath, you can see that now I am within collections and our collection, and now I'm interested in Renaissance painters collection. And the GIF here, of course, if you are own the digital collection, it's better to configure images with high quality to see this. From my point of view, looking at this paint and this page, it's like an exhibition, like you're going to a virtual museum and now you are exposed to the library resource. So I want to look at the Renaissance painter page, and I now discovered that underneath the Renaissance paints, I also have another sub-collection with a specific painter from the Renaissance. So I have here the sub-collection and the number of sub-collection below this collection, and I can see, and below this, I can see the item that are shared in the item that are directly under the Renaissance pattern. If we are looking at the items here, we can see number of items here are 9 items, and we are able to see those items in 2 different view modes. One mode is the view as a grid layout, where the image is displayed and the title underneath, and I have ability to save it to favorites, to save this picture, this item, the Madonna, to the favorites, and also this one to favorites. I have also the ability to switch to another view, which is called the gallery view, where the image is a little bit bigger, and only when I'm hovering, I can get the name of the item. As opposed for the navigation to the collection, which open the collection page, if I'm going to navigate to an item, I'm going to hope a navigation to the item is opening a full page, as you used to get a full display page of a record, because item is actually a PNX record. A collection is also a PNX record, but as in different, when we talk about collection, we take the metadata of the collection from the API, the title and the description we are taking from the API, and for the record, we take the metadata of it from the PNX record. So here we can see the thumbnail of the paint and the title, and we will work in next releases to have a really nice viewer for this image. Now we can have a click for the file and see it as it appear in Alma, which is the digital collection that now I am connecting to. And going back to here, I can get another detail for this item, and also I can do any action as I can do for a PNX record. So what we see so far is the ability of the patron to navigate through the special collection, show interest, save them to favorites, and this is only by clicking from this collection discovery. It just exposed to the wealth of the resources that the library choose to perform, to expose to him. I can also we can also reach to the data not only from getting from the collection discovery, also if I am performing a query, a search query for Benozo collection, for instance, I can Benozo collection. I can get in the brief results, in the brief results, the search results of this collection. I will get the collection type and the title and description if we have, and also a link to view the collection. This link, of course, will navigate to the same collection page as we already show. As we already navigate through the collection discovery here. I can also go to my favorites item and see the items that I saved, navigate to them, and get the information. We also plan to get the breadcrumb with the full path in next releases of Primo. So it will be able to link to the collection from the path, even if I get it from the search query. So up to now, we did the demonstration of the grid and gallery and the exhibition of this collection discovery. Now back to the presentation. What I would like to discuss with you now, to show with you now, is to explain a little bit what is behind the scenes of having the digital collection exposed in Primo, and to explain how Primo integrate with the digital repository, and just as to mark in November release, we have the ability to have the collection discovery feature out of the box with Rosetta and Alma. And in addition, we have the best practice to have it with an external digital repository, but we would like to have to work together with customer to configure it first. So we have a best practice. Whoever wants to do that is welcome to contact us to do that, and I will do a simulation on that. So how does Primo integrate with the digital repository? What is mandatory to do is that Primo needs to get first, in order to show the hierarchy of the collection, Primo calls to the digital repository API to get the collection hierarchy. And in addition, it expects to get the data also harvested and indexed in the search index, so the items can be discoverable. When I say item, I mean also item and collection can be discoverable by the search engine of Primo. So again, we need to expose the collection hierarchy in the expected API and publish the data to the Primo index to be able to be searched for. A little bit about the collection discovery API. What we get when we call the API with the get collection, we only get a collection and sub-collection type. Items are not fetched over there. We have a collection and a sub-collection, and the data that we expect to have for each collection is a collection ID. Okay, and we expect this collection ID to be the same collection ID as should be harvested by the Primo pipe. Should be the correlation. I will have it's a little bit technical, but I will show it. In addition, as I said, we expect to get a collection title for that, and we expect to get a link to thumbnail for this collection. So we can display in the collection page the main thumbnail, the main image, and of course this image should be with high quality. Therefore, we ask Alma and Rosetta to develop ability to configure per collection up to 4 images per collection, so we can display a good quality image with a good 4 images for the collection specifically display with a good quality. And if we want to display the hierarchy for each collection, we will have a sub-collection. This is an example to the REST API that Alma and Rosetta exposed to us. It's going to get the collection. We are getting XML. If you can see, when I show you the collection lobby, there were 6 collections over there, and this is the collection that we see here. If I'm now opening this collection, I can see that the first collection that we saw was with World War I diaries, and this is the collection ID. I just want to, if I'm going now to the World War I diaries, I can see that this is the collection page for that, and in the URL, I can navigate to collection ID, the same ID here as provided by the ILS API, the Digital Collection API. I can now navigate and take you for the art collection that I already demonstrate to you, and you can see the title and the description, the thumbnail that we are expecting to get, and the hierarchy, the sub-collection underneath this, the sub-collections, the sub-collection below the art collection, like the Benozzo Gozzoli collection that we already show. So this is data that we are expect to get from the API. This data enable us to build the hierarchy, structure. Now we are also expect the data, as I said, to be a part of the Primo search engines. So we expect to have to set up a pipe to the collection data, and for each data, for each record, item or collection, we want to have an indication what type of record is it, either item or collection, and if it has the parent collection ID, because we know that Primo and the index is actually a flat list. If we index the collection ID, this is our way to search and get the item of a specific collection, sharing the same collection ID. And in addition to that, we need to get the institution, so we know to which API, for the same institution, which API to query. And this is really technical, but I would like to show you also. So harvesting the data together and having the API, how does the correlation is done? If I have a PNX record under art collection, if I have a PNX record under art collection, this PNX have a specific field that mention that it is an item, and this is the parent ID of, this is a collection parent ID, and the institution that I'm working on. And if I'm taking the API response, I can see that for this collection, for the art collection, the ID is this, the one that ends with 21 is the same as mentioned here. That means this collection This item will be found, discovered by the Primo search engine as an item that belongs to the art collection for this institution. Okay, so I hope that so far you have realized and I made myself clear of how is the data is structured and expected to be get in Primo from the digital repository. We built a document that describes a best practice how to integrate with an external digital repository, not only Alma or Rosetta. And for that, we have created a dedicated adapter that knows to connect, is work on the same infrastructure of connecting through the ILS gateway. And all you have to do in order to do that is adding your collection-based URL, assuming you are implementing the same response as we expect to get from the collection. And now, so the message here is please contact us. We would like to show working together with the community the ability to integrate with customer repository, and perhaps if demand by the community, we can also take it out of the box if we are doing. Now I would like to demonstrate to you the ability to connect it to external digital collection using a mockup. We've created some link that returns the same response in Alma, only changing a title of that. So in this link, we created the link that returns the same hierarchy as the Alma just returned, but we took the art collection and changed over there the title to be called Art by Talis. As like you imagine, like we are now attempting to integrate with the Talis digital collections. So in order to do that, now will take you to Primo back office. We will go to the institution wizard. I'm going to do edit to the institution wizard, and here you can see now that I have I'm working with a collection which is from Alma. In advance, we will prepare in a mapping table of ILS gateway configuration the URL to the base URL to my mockup repository. I'm going to save and deploy this change and deploy the change. And once it's done, we can now we'll see that Primo is getting the hierarchy now, not from Alma. You will get the hierarchy from my new URL, my mockup URL. A few seconds to do that. Okay, just okay, it's finished deploying. If it doesn't work, I will click on refresh collection APIs button that we saw. Now I will go to my Primo, click on the collection discovery. It doesn't take my change. I will try to do, I will try to go to the institution and click on refresh collection API response. Okay. And hopefully, you will have to believe me that it's going to work. Yeah, you can see now that I took response. It's the name are different, and I changed the title of the collection page to be Art by Talis. So now you have proof that Primo is integrated with a mockup digital repository API and have the ability to integrate with any external API. So the message here should be very clear and very strong to you, the community to contact us to work on that. So what we show so far is that we saw what we are going to release in Primo November release. We saw the ability to connect to Alma, Rosetta, and a best practice how to do it with external connection. And now I want to share with you what are next to come with that. So we are planning to show in the brief results when we display a collection some teaser for teasering to encourage the patron to click on the collection and to show them items in this collection within the brief results. We need to think a really good way to do that, not to harm performance, of course, but we want to be able to show this item in this collection in the brief results. In addition, as discussed, we would like to work on a nice to expose a nice digital viewer to show the images in bigger size, and of course to show at the bottom here the full path to the image. Still need to be worked to do that. More to come, as I already mentioned, would like to get the number of the items from the API. Currently, we are performing additional search in order to calculate the items in the collection. It's all been fetching from the search index. We also working with Alma and Rosetta to have the ability to configure up to 4 images per collection. So we will be able to display it from there, from the data that are digital repository, and not take it from randomly from the items. And also for performance point of view to save us some searches on that. I already talked about the breadcrumb in the full page. We are thinking to have the tweak my results or facets for the collections, the ability to search within collection and item, and perhaps to show the additional data display in the collection page. Currently, we are displaying title and the description. We might want to display year or times or more data. So it's also, if we need to think about that, it's also a good feedback to get from you guys. So I think that this is my presentation, a short demo, and sharing with you the next plan. And now, if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer in the Slack, maybe.
I'm just looking here for a second, Nili, to see if there are any questions.
Okay.
So I don't really see any, although I have a couple of questions that I wanted to maybe just get started with.
Okay.
First, are there particular types of repositories that you're looking to partner with to be development partners?
Maybe the Fedora or Talis. It depends on the customer. We want to work with Michael North, maybe to integrate with Fedora, but it's we want customer to push us to go. And if there are if customer are working on same. Many customers work using specific digital repository, might consider to take it out of the box to Primo if we implemented this API with them. There is an option for the ILS gateway to have some kind of no template to translate or to transform API from one response to another response. So we can think of a way to create a transformer for like a fedora API to the expected API that we are working if it's been requested from many customers.
Is there any plan? One of the questions that came in was, is there any plan to include facets?
Yes, yes.
And
Yes. Okay, continue.
No. Go on.
No. I just say yes. I just said that with my results that I show is also is the plan to have facets, of course, as the next phase.
So another question that came in was, when might you guys integrate this with DSpace? Or are you looking for development partners to work on with DSpace?
Yeah, this is what we are looking to work with development partner.
So I guess the final question that I have is does this necessarily have to be one of the things that you demonstrated was kind of working against the static file and not just working against an active live API. Could this have applications in things like EAD of digital objects?
Again, can you repeat again? Working with the static files and then can be considered as what?
Working with encoded archival description, EAD, types of XML are not just thinking about working with kind of live systems and APIs, but also with flat files. It sounds like that application could exist as well.
I think so. But we need to consider how the dynamic of the data, what's happened with the data is, it's possible. I already demonstrated from that way. But I need maybe to consult what are the effects on that. But of course, maybe we can take it more technical details what to do if it's possible. We can take it later offline to really understand what is the effect, and I can learn more about your requirement. Okay?
Sure. So if I'm a customer who's interested in working with Ex Libris on the digital collection, what's the best way for me to show interest? What should the process be? Should they email the product working group? Should they work directly with, or should they email you? What's the best way to kind of get this coordinated and together?
I think it's either accessing you or email us to work together in that. They can also open a case to the support and they ask to contact us, and the support will. But the fast way to do that, and we are looking to work with that, is to email us or ULN and push it to push it. But we do interest. They can email me or Yuval or you.
Okay. So one of the things that we were thinking about was if there are people who are interested, another way to also open this up would be to email the Primo listserv.
Okay.
And then this way we can get a sense of primo@exlibrisusers.org as a way of also not just generating a single use case, particularly for something that's as widespread used as DSpace or Fedora, but to potentially get multiple people who are using the same system who may actually have different use cases.
Right.
So
I totally agree with you. Yes.
So a few other questions that have come in. What about collections that have been harvested, i.e. imported, but there's no API available?
And collection are
So
those collection are taken from Alma or Rosetta? If so, the API is already should be there. If it's another one, you can also create some kind of a file exposing the hierarchy of and changing the base URL, and as I saw in the example. If if the question is if they don't want to have an API implemented, um, I need to figure out the use case.
I think the use case is here. Let me just describe it and see if this makes sense. So I have a slide collection, and I have them harvested through OAI PMH.
Okay.
And they're harvested into the local repository, or
Okay.
the metadata is harvested into the local repository. Rather than linking out to an external file or to an API that has all that information about the collection, are there ways to nest that collection structure within the PNX itself? Or is there a way of referring back out to the API to actually get how the images are organized with, say, for example, like a media identifier or something?
So if you have the collection harvested, will be exposed as a search results list, all right? But the way the mechanism is calling, build the structure from this API, right? And this creates the lobby page with all of the structure. Although the data is already existing in the PNX, we do not know from where to start, right? For this one, I can check if the I don't know how we check the no, everything will be rely on building the hierarchy of the collection using the API. This is currently the mechanism we are being given.
Mm-hmm. So okay. Matt Lawson has a question. Would a digitized student newspaper be a good candidate for a digital collection, in your opinion?
I think so, yeah. What I can share with you is we also have a plan for February release, a nice view for newspaper, okay? And separate an additional new entry in the main menu for newspaper. And we definitely think of somehow having those newspaper in some kind of grid layout. We just discussed it this week. So so there is a development with regarding to the newspaper to show it in a dedicated page, and perhaps it's also.
Would that include locally? Would that include, I guess, local collections as well as, for example, ProQuest content like the New York Times archive?
Yes. Local collection. I'm not sure about the local collection from the. Are you asking about the next?
So, for example, let's say that there's a student newspaper. We have the Canon magazine, which is a student newspaper here, or the New School Free Press. Okay. We have that digitized locally. Okay. Or we have the some of it locally. Would that be a candidate for the newspaper search that you're speaking about, or would that be more of a digital collection? How in your mind, how would you treat that?
Okay, so what we plan is the newspaper from Primo Central to be exposed from the new page, and if you have the local digital collection first, you can immediately get it and have it with the digital collection in really nice view. And with regarding to blending both your newspaper and collection and the newspaper page that we are about to expose, we need to think about a nice way to blend this. I believe that it can be shared in the same. It can be shared in the same page. Not sure in the same grid layout, because searching the newspaper can be blended with your local content. But since it's I would like to think about it and get back to you on that. Okay, it's really a good point of blending that. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's a good point, and we are just running this project. Thank you for raising this.
Well, thank Matt. Don't thank me.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
I don't see any other questions queued up in the live chat. Nili, I want to thank you for the presentation. This was incredibly informative.
Thank you.
And if there are any other questions that the user community wants to post to Nili or to the Primo Product Working Group, you can use the Slack channel at Primo Dev, or you can post to the. So I want to thank everybody for attending, and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ellen, for arranging that. Thank you. It was pleasant.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.